things. I mean, and you just can't do it all. Just like the Great American Beer Festival. Jonathan, when you look at what happens to Denver, I think they said like $30 million of money comes into this city, and a lot of it has to do with just offshoot events.
Right.
What do you think of the events that are going on, and is that really the way? I mean, you got to capitalize on them with so many breweries and restaurants and just craft beer being, in general, a love here. These events are actually very worthwhile.
Yeah, the events are amazing. I was talking with Chris Black, who owns Falling Rock Tap House. He said 15 years ago you would go out after GABF, and the most you could find was maybe a few Sam Adams in a bucket of Sam Adams. That was your after party. And today there are literally hundreds of events that you can go to at breweries, restaurants, bars, other places. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
The buzz in the background is actually people getting tattooed right now on the patio upstairs at Briar Common, and that's part of the 3-year anniversary party tonight.
It is. Brews and Tattoos was our theme this year.
Guess what Jay's going to do towards the end of the show?
He's getting a Mickey Mouse is what he's getting.
He's getting a tattoo live on the air. So we got some great guys here with us right now. Jonathan Shikes from Westward, the beer writer. Alex Liberati, of course, from Liberati's. And if you haven't been to Liberati's, you got to take a look. We're going to tell you about an event, a collaboration that we're going to be doing on the 26th of October, which I would really hope that you all attend. Look forward to hearing us talk more about that later in the show. We want to tell you about that too, Jonathan. And Greg Dawson from Briar Common. And we talk about Briar Common here. First of all, nestled in this beautiful neighborhood that almost seems to be like this hidden gem, which, to me it sounds like, all right, hidden gem, why? Because you think of Mile High Stadium and Federal and Colfax, but right here, what a beautiful neighborhood this is. What is it called?
Jefferson Park.
Jefferson Park.
We got, I think with all locations, you get lucky, and we certainly did with this neighborhood, and we got in early. I think now, after 6 years since signing the lease, we're just fortunate that the neighborhood's changed as much as it has, and we've created a local following, which is the best thing you can possibly do as a small business.
Completely. And a brewery. A lot of times breweries, and you can, first of all, your thoughts on this, guys, jump in. Breweries really live and die by their neighborhoods with the model of 80% being your tap room and 20% being distribution somehow. You've got to really have a great neighborhood to involve themselves with your brewery as well.
Yeah, and I mean Jefferson Park is a terrific neighborhood. A lot of change here in the last 5 or 10 years, but this is a great place. I think for both both Briar Common and Liberati Brewing, since they have food, it makes it a little bit different. Both places are brew pubs, and so they can be a little bit of a destination, But yeah, you want people coming in from, you want people walking here and coming in and being regulars and that kind of thing.
I agree. And especially these days, the distribution market being so wobbly, let's say, it's much more difficult than like 10 years ago, at least, So definitely the stats of the 80-20 are very easy to, believe, because definitely a lot of business is the walk-in that comes in and tastes beer directly at your tasting room. The better markup is that, and with bigger players being, I don't want to say angrier, but let's say a little bit more aggressive, day by day. I mean, it's harder to get beers on the shelves, to get shelf space. I mean, you know all about it, Jonathan, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think being in that packaging world right now would not be a lot of fun. That would make for a lot of sleepless nights. I'm sure you have a lot of sleepless nights as brew pubs as well, but. Yeah, packaging your beer can be is very, very difficult. So many packaged beers out there.
So 3 years in business here at Briar Common. I've seen some changes throughout the years, but pivoting is crucial. Just being able to say, here's the climate of what we're working in. Beer's your number one, obviously, but you found out, boy, our bar's pretty valuable as well. Being able to pour spirits is a pretty big thing with that brew pub, and then also the menu. So you started out more of a kind of let's do a pairing and a tasting,
right.
And you figured out what did people want?
Yeah, we started out not listening to the neighborhood, and that didn't go very well. So we, as you said, we pivot pivoted and went into, like, what we try and say is just an elevated pub fare. So we do typical pub snacks, but we also have entrees, and yeah, it's you have
your
to
food
listen.
is so dialed in right now. I mean, really. If there's
3 years, Greg.
what's that?
Took 3 years.
It does take 3 years, and you might refine it from there. But I think right now that's what you figure out in the first few years as a business in a restaurant, which you're in the restaurant industry.
Right.
Is you go, okay, food costs, labor costs, where are we at with the quality of food? How can we keep a good quality of food? What's the fare that we want? And I think your menu's really dialed in right now. Beyond, I think it's a destination spot. Come try out Briar Common.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interesting part of that is, my brother and business partner, we thought we were getting into the beer world and the brewing industry, and once you're a brew pub, you're basically a restaurant. And as Alex can probably speak to, it kind of flip-flops for us. It's like the beer keeping up with the food, and then food keeping up with the beer, and it's just kind of a nice interplay just speaking for ourselves.
Also, there's also some added challenges because now marketing now is like a double-faced market. You got to market towards the restaurant people. You got to your restaurant events or food events, and you got to market towards the beer people, and you got to keep those two things going. And it's like it's harder when you don't have like that one product that you can be pointing everything on.
Right.
You have to allocate your resources in the right way. But I think that the most important thing is, as you were saying before, Greg, is pivoting, right? And so we've been pivoting a lot in our first year as well. And I'm sure I'm not as good as you are to listening at the neighborhood, because these neighborhoods, especially here, I mean, I come from Rome. Nothing changes in Rome. It's been like that forever. It's going to be like that forever. But over here, things change so rapidly,
Yeah, and they have. You're absolutely right.
So that must have been something that you've been, maybe following, and listening to.
We take a look at product mixes. I mean, at least from the pivot very closely, and we just gravitate towards things that sell, and we're in the business of keeping our doors open, and
Absolutely.
It's good changes all around. And Greg, thanks for the compliments on the food menu. We're
Absolutely
come a long way. I think we're on our 4th chef in 3 years, and we had 2 in 6 months. So restaurant business is interesting.
Hey, man, Jay Parker here, somebody that's been in the restaurant business, 28, 29 years now. Yeah, that's part of it. It really is. When you say, man, we've had a couple chefs, it's like, hey, the doors are still open. It's a packed house. You do what you have to do chef-wise and bartender-wise and everything else. The show must go on.
Well, when you think of that, and I look at Briar Common, and the name of the game is keeping your doors open. And when I said, well, we're not moving rocks around a prison yard here. But at the same time, Alex, you chimed in and said, well, listen, I've got a lot of families I've got to feed. People are counting on me. You obviously want to keep the doors open as long as you can. I see so many tragic situations. And you look at Pistol Whip that was on Santa Fe, 6th Avenue, 6 months in business and then gone.
No way, they closed already?
Yeah, they're done.
Oh, my God. That's
And
terrible.
that place had like great reviews.
Oh, my God, yeah, it was
When
great.
they opened up, everybody's like, oh, my God, I'm so blown away. And it's like, well, you weren't that blown away.
And if you don't pivot,
And pivoting is healthy. I mean, you get for a better product. You resonate with the people.
Makes you more
Eventually,
resilient.
things come out which are better,
It truly does. We're going to take a break from Briar Common. We're going to come back with the GABF wrap-up. The week's almost over. Last session probably going on right now as it is. We caught up with a few great people, got to talk to while we were wandering around on Thursday evening. A conversation with Julia Hertz just about categories. We're going to go over some GABF award winners that are here locally, Colorado award winners, and just folks that are showing up time after time after time after time with a broad array of beers. It amazes me how some of these folks just seem to find their way through the smoke sometimes, all the time. Isn't that something else, Jonathan?
Yeah, it's amazing the breweries that win either year after year, or they win, they take a year off, they come back and win, they win again. It really is amazing. It makes you, there's something they have. Either they're brewing, they know, either they're entering the right categories, they're brewing exactly toward what the judges are looking for, or they're just amazing brewers, and they hit it. They somehow hit it every time.
Beer is the theme tonight. We're going to cover a broad array of topics when it comes to beer and craft beer and GABF, but also we're going to cover some of the great beers that we're drinking here tonight at Briar Common and in Jefferson Park, the sun setting on the Mile High City, and it's going to be a beautiful evening. If you'd like to join us and you're in the shot of our voice, please come down. What's the address?
It's 2298 North Clay Street.
What's the easiest way to get here?
2 blocks off of 23rd and the 25.
And you'll see it. I mean, we are neighbors, kind of, because we're to the south of Mile High Stadium. You're just to the north of Mile High Stadium.
Straight north.
Absolutely. Okay, let's take that break. We'll come right back. Again, Jonathan Shikes here with us from Westward, and Alex Liberati and Greg Dawson will be back in a flash right here from Briar Common on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Hey, guys. Or Jay.
To check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Hi, my name's Christina Stumble, and I own Farm Girl Flowers in San Francisco. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back
Jay, are you there?
purchases. Last year,
Hey, so I figured out how to convert stuff to next gen. I did that, Proud Souls. The Proud Souls Live that I used to play through the computer. We're still doing that, right?
Spark Card from Capital One could do for your business. What's in your wallet?
For when customers pay for real stories, credit approval required.
Since 1964, Hustler Turf Equipment has been designing, engineering, and assembling zero-turn lawnmowers with U.S. here in the United States.
Okay.
Escapers and homeowners alike have relied on Hustler Turf.
Okay, I just did the Proud Soul. Hang on. Okay.
Can you hear?
This first one.
Can you hear him?
I can't. What are you saying? Are we going?
This first one, I did from when I did the show 2 weeks ago.
HustlerTurf.com.
So what's the deal?
The first break is I can do the second. I can do all the other breaks from last week, but I've had my wall saved.
Produces more than 800 different beers, the greatest number of original.
Okay. Okay.
That's fine, but just
Okay.
know it's in there.
Load some new stuff in there?
I made the Proud Souls one. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Quads,
I loaded Proud Souls in there to where I can play it off next gen now instead of the computer.
fruit beers.
Okay. Just making sure.
Beers is at 67th and Pecos in Midtown.
But you still have 2 lives though.
Whatever you like, including your dog, who is always
Okay.
inside or outside on our large patio. Check us out on social media or on our website at brewsbeers.com. That's Brews Beers, B-R-U-Z, at 1675 West 67th Avenue, just 10 minutes north of downtown. The place to go for badass Belgian-style beers.
Hey, it's Greg Hollenbach. Anymore these days, when I go out to eat, I not only want to eat delicious food and drinks, but I also want to eat where I know my money is going to a local restaurant that I believe in. I believe in the Goods restaurant on Colfax and Mark Whistler. The Goods is a community restaurant and bar with a menu focusing on vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and keto options. Comfort food lovers, try the best burger on planet Earth. I love it. 8 ounces of grass-fed beef and never, ever any hormones, antibiotics, or steroids. The Goods is truly a cultural melting pot, a family restaurant open to all. Their bar program is amazing. Saddle up at their long, luxurious bar, have a nice craft beer or a cocktail. Like their Facebook page and stay up on amazing events and specials going on throughout the week. Located on East Colfax, directly connected to the Tattered Cover Bookstore, across from East High School with free parking and a garage in back. Look them up online, thegoodsrestaurant.com. I'll see you at the Goods.
Hey, Colorado, this is Brian Freeman,
1 minute.
and a host on the Modern Eater Talk Show. Growers Organic is a Colorado sourcing company who provides Colorado's greatest chefs with the best organic produce. I've been partnering with local and regional farms for the last 20 years, and our returning customers know they can count on us over and over again. Chefs who receive the highest rating on Good Food 100 choose Growers Organic for their organic produce needs because we're experts at bridging the gap between the farm and the table. Join us in the organic revolution and go organic with Growers Organic. Look us up online at growersorganic.com.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from The Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite spice company. Spice is the variety of life. At The Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants,
10 seconds.
behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose The Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
All right, here we go.
.com.
Hey guys, it's Carly Smith, the Fairy Godmother here. Don't get too excited. Live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. I your guts. You're listening to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
You're hot.
Broth.
Okay, good evening. From Briar Common, the Modern Eater Show continues. Greg Holland back. Jay Parker, Brian Freeman, he's off. But we've got a good fill-in with Jonathan Shikes from Westward, man. Good to have you here. Alex Liberati and Greg Dawson, Briar Common, thank you, the host with the most. And this was the weekend, man. Great American Beer Festival as the convention center swells with beer bellies everywhere. And just consuming thimbles full of beer one at a time. And this year they went back to the glass, Jonathan.
Yeah, they did.
That was interesting. I thought, no way they actually have glass, but yeah, that's right. Usually the plastic cups, they drop. Everybody does, what do? They just call you out on that, the glass drops, but now it's
yeah, I heard them shatter right and left while
all
I was
over
there.
the ground.
Yep.
Talked to Julia Hertz from the Brewers Association and said, we're all adults here. And I said, have you seen how we act as adults?
Right.
Julia, we're going to cover a lot of the recap of the Great American Beer Festival, give some feelings about how it went, and we're also going to go through award-winning medals. But while we're here at Briar Common, I'm drinking the Briar. Which one's this, Greg?
That's Briar Pale Ale.
So good.
Thank you.
I love this. My go-to right there. But you have a long list of beers, a short list. It's long list, short list.
In this day and age, I think it's a short list.
Okay. Let's talk about some of these.
Sure. So we have 10 taps, and for the most part, 9 are year-round, and then we kind of rotate one. This year, going into our anniversary, we wanted to do something a little special. So we had put 3 different beers in barrels and let those age and let the barrels do the hard work, and then release those Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. And then today and tomorrow we'll have all those beers on tap. So it's an Abbey Ale in a whiskey barrel from Mile High Spirits that they loaned us, our porter in a woods distilling out of Salida, and then our Saison that was finished with Brettanomyces and threw that in a French Chardonnay barrel.
And that was awesome. That was really
lovely
mind-blowing. Mamma mia, so clean, crisp, with all those Chardonnay notes coming out. Really, really awesome stuff.
That was
Sorry
good.
for
Were
geeking
you
out
able to
here,
try
but-
that one?
Yeah, that was
Jonathan?
lovely. Yeah,
Okay,
yep.
good. All right, great. And you talk about beer styles, right? Great American Beer Festival. So how many categories are there, Jonathan?
I mean, I think there were 107 categories this year. I think there's some subcategories within those, but it's a lot.
107 categories. How many judges do they have? Do you know?
I can't remember offhand, but they have to ramp it up every year to keep up with all the entries. This was the biggest. I think they had the most. I can't remember the number of entries, but they had the biggest one this year.
So when you look at the amount of entries and the judges, they're kind of commissioned with, okay, here are all the categories you're going to use, right? And then here are the other and so they divide those up. But what does it look like as far just a full day of tasting?
I think it's more than that. Yeah, I mean they have the behind the scenes machinations that go on are amazing. The it's like a ballet. It's like a massive ballet with hundreds and hundreds of people in the rooms where they do this at. I believe it's at one of the hotels across the street, and they taste. They have everything is nobody knows what they're serving. Nobody knows what they're drinking, but everything is labeled in such a way that they know what the end result is. It's amazing.
So I'm trying to picture it in my head because I've done with Micro Brew Fest, Jay, the beer festival that we've done in the past. We had 50 breweries and we did an IPA competition. Well, it's really interesting because first of all, you've got to expedite the beer to the judges. You got to make sure you've got them all, your ducks in a row. You've got to make sure that their temperature to what you want the temperature to be.
Yep.
They're orchestrating thousands of beers.
Thousands and thousands of beers, yeah. It's all color-coded. They have these huge charts on the wall. Everything is numbered, so you don't know what any of the beers are. And it's something else. I really don't know how they do it. It is quite an amazing feat.
Are they spitters?
I don't think they are. I don't think beer drinkers are spitters.
Really? So they're actually
I think they're drinking them. Yeah, some of them may spit. But
Well, there is a reason for that because bitterness is an important compound in beer. And I don't know if this is something we just tell ourselves so that we can drink them all. But bitterness is a really important organoleptic quality of beer. And, much less in wine. Bitterness.
Say that word again.
Organoleptic. I am half Italian. I mean, come on. And so what happens is that your button receptors for bitterness are on the back of your tongue. So you kind of have to, have the sip in the world of beer to be able to say that you fully appreciate what you're drinking.
I say when that gets activated, that's balloon ear. You know what I'm talking about with balloon ear when you blow up those balloons?
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
and
get
you feel it
behind your ear. When a beer does that to me, I'm like, oh, man. Do you ever get that?
Well, some people are more sensitive to it, and some other people are less. I mean, that's the whole basis of like super tasters. There's different thresholds. So, I mean, maybe you're one of those.
Yeah, maybe you're a super taster.
Maybe. I'd like to take that little test. It still confuses me, that test. You do a strip? Is that what you
You get a little strip, you taste it, and if you need to leave the room real quick, you're a super taster. If instead you don't taste anything, well, no, you're not. So
I'm gonna seek that out. Let's do that on the air, Alex. This live on Facebook as well, and this banner, the Modern Eater banner, is drifting back and forth like a drunk sailor from the Great American Beer Festival, just back and forth, leaning back and forth. I want to show you some stuff that we were looking at. Took some pictures and some videos from the Great American Beer Festival. If you're on Facebook, you'll give full value. If you're listening on iHeartRadio 630 KHOW, click on your Facebook and check out the Modern Eater Facebook page because we're going to go through some fun stuff. When you go to the Great American Beer Festival, now they offer you a paired event, which is food. And I love this idea because food and beer, to me, just go hand in hand. And Jonathan, what do you think about the food pairing inside of the Great American Beer Festival?
It's a terrific event. It's very crowded, but it's a great way to. I mean, it's a really great way to understand why beer goes with food, why food goes with beer. If you can talk to the folks who are handing you the food and the beer, they'll explain what to look for, what makes it interesting, and it's just terrific. They pick some great beers, they pick some great chefs. And it's a lot of fun.
Brewers and chefs are very similar in my eyes because you're working with taste and a recipe and executing that recipe to be able to come up with something that's palatable, whether it's a delicious food recipe or a beer recipe. And putting those things together, whether they complement each other or whether they're the exact opposite.
It's just two different kinds of mental illness, Greg. Honestly, we're both crazy in two different ways. I mean, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, brewers and chefs. So right here we have Josh Nurnberg from Bin 707. And Josh is a great chef on the Western Slope in Grand Junction. And that restaurant, if you ever get an opportunity and you're going through Grand Junction, Josh is really – but this bite, look at this. Can you describe
amazing.
That bite?
Well, it had that acidity, right, with that little tomato there. But that red thing was like a berry kind of fruity syrup that he made. And he's probably going to, kill me next time that I see him. He's like, it wasn't a syrup, but it had everything. It had the acidity, the berry, the gazpacho quality. Because it was a gazpacho, wasn't it, right?
Yeah.
And it was served with, what beer do you remember? It was a sour ale, wasn't it?
I thought it was.
It was a sour ale, and just the pairing was just fine. This gentleman here, he knows what he's doing.
Heck of a guy. The 26th, we're going to do an event at Liberati's, which is something we want you to come out for. But in the next hour, we're going to tell you all about that event that Josh Nurnberg is going to come down for. And this paired event, as we just kind of slide through these photos here, is, it's something that year after year that it's building, but the food portion is growing so much. Here we had an opportunity to catch up with Eric Wallace from Left Hand and also the chairman of the board of the Brewers Association. That was fun catching up with Eric right there. Look at you, Alex.
Well, Brian was still here, not in Hawaii yet.
Not in Hawaii yet. You know Eric Wallace?
I do, yep.
Interesting seeing that because Eric talks about not only the affiliation with the Brewers Association, but then he wears that hat of left hand, right?
He wears the hat of left hand?
Well,
Oh, he's the president, isn't he? President
Oh,
left
I'm
hand.
sorry. I was looking at his hat in the picture.
No. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a left hand sticker there.
I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, no, he's a fiery guy, and he is one of the beating hearts of craft, and the feeling of craft and what it means to be independent. And he's been around for a long time. I knew him when I worked for the Longmont Times Call in the 90s when they were just a tiny little brewery, and he's a really fun person to talk to.
Well, anymore these days we're looking for incremental growth in the industry. Beer industry is like, okay, how can we actually grow this craft beer industry? And hard seltzer and CBD, they're on the top of his agenda list.
Yeah, I mean, I think for breweries that are looking to diversify, breweries that are trying to make sure that they're taking care of all their customers, that's seltzer is one of the directions they're going. CBD is a special, if you want to put CBD or even THC in your either alcoholic or non-alcoholic beer, that's a whole different category.
I think there still are some challenges, though, with the alcohol in CBD, right? Because it's regulated federally. Is that correct, John?
Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of confusion. I think a lot of breweries don't want to risk their liquor license federally by messing around.
I wouldn't
with
either.
CBD. I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either want to mess with that.
Yeah, but I'd do it in a heartbeat, Greg, wouldn't you?
I would.
Would you really?
Oh, yeah.
Which one, CBD or THC?
CBD.
Both.
Both? I mean, truly. Who's that? Cena? He's actually a judge at the Great American Beer.
Saria.
Yeah.
Couple things real quick. We have to go to break.
Okay.
Two, the tattoo thing. I mean, here's the thing. It's going to at least take 20 minutes, and I'm on board to do it, but they want to do it right now because they want to open tables up for seating. So it's kind of like, I have to go over there to do it. So I don't know how you want to work that out.
How about you get your tattoo and then come back and we'll talk about it?
Well, who's going to do this?
Jonathan?
I can push buttons.
Sure.
I mean,
what's going on over there?
Listen, I'd love a free tattoo, as cheesy as it would be, but honestly, I don't know if we'll have time. I'd like to still get the guys on and talk to them a little bit about being here at Briar Common and, doing tattoos.
So I'm looking about 7 o'clock for that. We're going to check in this next segment with Ryan Evans from Brews Beers, who actually did medal, and then we're going to spend the remainder of this hour talking about medaling at the GABF. I think that's cool. Okay, we'll come back, and right here from Briar Common, it's going to get good right here. I want you guys to stick around because we're going to come back and let you know some of the award-winning Colorado breweries that took home medals at the GABF this year, and we're doing it right here on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Sure, calling Ryan right now.
Through Cyberland. Don't forget to check us out on
3:45 from right now.
For all the fun photos and videos, just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
What's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Hey, Jay.
Do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. In many cases, there are no medical exams required. Just go to ethoslife.com. That's ETHOS. Ethoslife.com. Ethoslife.com.
Hey, pizza lovers. It's your pizza guy here, Jason McGovern with Crush Pizza and Tap right here in Denver, Colorado. With your help, let's make pizza great again. Come into Crush Pizza and Tap for our award-winning pizza, wings, and local beer. But we're serving up 3 styles of pizza for you to crush. Dig into our Chicago deep dish with sauce on top of the cornmeal crust. And don't forget about our Sicilian, that's right, with cheesy crisp edges and that soft crust. Don't forget about America's Pizza. How could you do that? Crush Pizza and Tap's hand-tossed pizza will take your taste buds back to that neighborhood pizzeria you loved as a kid. You like deals? Come in and mention the Modern Eater and get a
Okay, Ryan's there.
pizzas any day of the week. Man, that's good. Lastly, don't forget to crush our award-winning smoked wings. They're Little Rich approved and loved by everyone. Crush Pizza and Tap's conveniently located at 1200 West 38th Avenue, just minutes from downtown. Come and crush pizza with us. We've been making pizza great again since 2012. It's Crush Pizza and Tap.
Want to bake the best? Bake with the best. Little Rich here from Raquelitas Tortillas and the Modern Eater. Our wraps fold cold and don't break open, yet they're soft and delicious. What's my secret? Ardent Mills. Organic, ancient, and heirloom grains like quinoa, spelt, and more. Locally headquartered in Denver, Colorado, Ardent Mills provides the industry's broadest range of traditional and organic flours, whole grains, customized blends, and specialty products dedicated to providing the culinary industry with the next grains and unique plant-based ingredients. I love Ardent Mills, and I know you will too. To bake the best, you must use the best. Learn more at ardentmills.com.
Listen up, barbecue lovers. Greg Hall.
1 minute.
Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Proud Souls is Denver's authority of all things barbecue. Do you rule your neighborhood with the best backyard barbecue? From beginners to pit masters, Proud Souls has all the equipment you could possibly want. A variety of wood, pellet, and charcoal grills and smokers. Award-winning pit masters and owners of Proud Souls, Dan and Tony, have a passion for barbecue, and it shows. Located on 25th and Federal, Proud Souls retail store is bursting at the seams with your barbecuing essentials, the Spice Guy spices, and superior flavored fuels for your pit like hickory.
20 seconds.
Pecan, cherry, apple, peach, maple, grape, and a variety of blends. Hit their website, ProudSoulsBBQ.com, for delicious hands-on barbecue classes and get information on current promotions and deals. For the best in barbecue locally.
Yes, sir, he's there.
25th and Federal, there are guys. Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. That's ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
Yo, what's up? This is Justin Brunson, Culture Meat and Cheese in Denver Central Market. I'm a meat guy. And you're listening to the Modern on iHeartRadio.
Yes, and yes. I'm loving it right now because we're at Briar Common having delicious food and delicious beers as we just reminisce. One more year is in the books for the Great American Beer Festival. Thanks for tuning in. And I want to do this. Just say, Jonathan Shikes, my co-host tonight, thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks for having me on here.
Alex Liberati, Greg Dawson. We're going to talk award winners. Now, here's the thing. A lot of breweries live and die by awards.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing, but it's what we have right now. Carries a lot of weight to win a medal at the GABF. Would you agree?
I think so. I mean, I think when you don't win them, it doesn't carry that much weight. But when you win them, it's really nice. I mean, it's always nice to win an award. You know, I mean, even if it's not for the beer you thought you were going to win it for, or even if it's for, even if you thought you should have won, a million times before, it still feels good, I think.
I said my number one advice to folks that are entering into the GABF is to know your category and don't enter a beer that doesn't fit into the category because it's going to get kicked out right away. It could be the most delicious beer in the world, but if it's in the wrong category, you're toast.
Yep.
Right? This gentleman we want to enter into the conversation. His name's Ryan Evans and Brews Beers. Brews Beers is in Midtown, and we love this guy. Ryan, how are you?
Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Not bad at all. Some beers and some food. What more could you want?
Right? Life is good. Life is good.
You're supposed to say what you could want is a medal from the GABF, and that's exactly what you got, Ryan. Congratulations, sir.
We did. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, we won a silver medal today for our Belgian quad. It was Serenity Grand Cru, a beer that we really enjoyed brewing, and we finally got a GABF medal, so we're really excited about it.
What did you place?
So we placed a silver in the Belgian quad category, which all we do is Belgian beers. So for us, that's kind of the pinnacle for us.
Ryan, I hate to tell you, I only hang out with gold medal winners. So keep trying. But no, and we talk about living and dying by the medals, Ryan. And it's always great to have one. It's not so great when you don't have one, but this is your first medal. Was it like last year, forget that, Chris. They don't know anything. And now this year's like, man, those are some smart dudes. Those are some really intelligent people.
Right?
Yeah. What's that like as far as owning a brewery?
It's extremely exciting. It's an up and down, and you're always going at it. For us, we're very focused on what we do. All we do is Belgian styles, so we've only got a handful of categories that we enter into. This is our, I think, 4th year entering into the competition on a professional scale, and so it is. It's a roller coaster. You put your heart and soul into these things, and you create the recipe, and you bust your knuckles open brewing them, and you put them in there thinking you've done everything you can, and you come away with nothing, and you do that for year after year, and but it kind of drives you, it fuels you, it makes you work a little bit harder and try to figure out what it takes, and sure enough, we got one finally, and we're proud of that. I'm glad we went through the process, and we'll continue to do so, and it just makes us better brewers.
With that being said, and I want these guys to chime in as well. You know who Jonathan Shikes is, don't you? You ever heard of that guy?
Jonathan sounds like is there, and Greg and Alex. All you're in good company, Greg. You roll high.
I need to do less talking and let these guys go on. But Ryan, what do you do to the breweries that haven't placed, that try year and year again? What are your thoughts of wisdom for those folks that continue to beat the drum?
That's a fair question. I think it's continual improvement, right? You continue to raise the bar. I mean, this craft brewing industry, there is so much good stuff out there right now that everyone is working hard to get better. And so it's listen to your comrades in the industry and take notes and just look for ways to improve every single year. And like you said, I mean, you only hang out with gold medal winners, so we still got a ways to go before we can hang out.
Wow. You got that cool thing. How about you, Jonathan? What's your advice to folks?
I think it's really, really difficult to win an award at GABF, and I think it gets more difficult every year because they increase the number of medals, I think, but not by very much, and the number of breweries that enter goes up by an enormous amount, and to pull one in is really difficult. A lot of brewers say it's a crapshoot because there's just so many of them. Other brewers say, well, they don't they don't say it, but they win awards every year. So you think, well, maybe it's not such a crapshoot, but I really don't know. There's some amazing beers out there that have never won anything. There's amazing beers like Comrade Superpower, which won an award here this year.
I wonder, they're unstoppable, and they just don't give a flying. They don't care about what people think. We've had them on, I think, once, and those guys are just so cavalier, and they just love what they do, but they don't care what anybody else thinks. But year after year, they show up, and they win medals every single year.
Well, they make some really solid beer, man. I'm proud that in Colorado we have someone like them that uses hops so well. Jonathan, this has been the hoppy ale kind of meddling has been something peculiar to many other states for many years, and now we got some really good players now. And year after year, as you were saying before, it's like the poker World Series, right? So some people win year after year, and there is the luck in poker as well. But you know what? You got to be good to win. It's not just by pure luck that you have such a winning. Last year, what was it? Fresh hop IPAs that they won. That was mind blowing, Comrade. And this year, what did they win this year?
They won 2 this year. They won one for Superpower, which is their flagship. Actually, they won it they didn't win it in the IPA category. I think they won it in a pale category, which is kind of interesting. So maybe they chose the right one this time. And they also won for an IPA in another category. I forget the name of that beer, but they won 2, and then they won the small brewer of the year award. So they're terrific. And some of the other folks, Cannonball Creek, which won 2 awards, also masters at using hops.
Westbound and Down that won Small Brew Pub of the Year as well, also from Colorado.
Yep. And then Weldworks, in a kind of a different, with the hazy juicy, they took home 2 hoppy beers as well, both iterations of Juicy Bits. So
Juicy bits, right?
Yeah, so extra juicy bits.
Oh, extra juicy bits.
And then I forget what it's mini bits, or I forget what they're small. Their session, I forget what it's called, but they won for that one too.
Ryan Evans, man, congratulations once again. Hard work from the whole team at Brews Beers, and Charlie Gottenkinney as well. Congratulations to him. But along with some new hardware, you've also got a new location coming up for you, man. I'm so proud and so happy. But
way to kick off another location, right?
where's it at?
We're opening up here in the next month or two off of Colfax and York. There in kind of the heart of Denver. It's a real small, kind of quaint, warm tasting room that we've been working on for over a year, and we're really excited to get that one off the ground and bring some of our beers down into the city. We've got some exposed brick and some metalwork and just some really cool stuff going on in that space, and we're excited to share our beverages with the hood down there.
Jonathan has a smile on his face. Alex has a little grin like, yeah. As we look at this new location, satellite location that's opening up for Brews Beers, it's going to give more exposure, and that metal is just a great way of saying we're on the map and we're here to stay, and here's another location for you to try our beers, and couldn't be more proud of you.
Well, thanks, guys, and we're in good company, so I'm really excited to be in this industry. It's just full of such great people, and it's been one heck of a day.
Well, we're always happy when some friend wins a medal, man. I mean, that's such an accomplishment. So congratulations, my friend.
Absolutely. Prost to you, my friend.
Yeah, congratulations, Ryan.
Okay, Ryan Evans, Brews Beers. We're going to take a break, come back, and are we good for a break back there, Jared? I know we're a little behind, but we'll make it a quick one. Okay, we're going to break, come right back to Briar Common. This is a great night, though. What ruins things for me is wind. It's a calm night.
And it's calm, and it's packed. It's great, man.
It's a beautiful night. Briar Common, come down and see us right here. And the address again, sir?
2298 North Clay Street.
2298 North Clay Street in Jefferson Park, right by Mile High Stadium. Back in the flash right here, the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the live out of this break.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, I quit. And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? Well, not long ago, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from a billionaire family spent $20 million in 3 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different...
Okay, Greg, you're going to have a live in the first and second break of the next hour.
He bought it. And right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company...
Of the next hour. Are they both the same sponsors, though?
Making money from home without having to leave...
Okay.
Well, grab a pen, because I'm about to give you the address of a website where you can learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. Write this down. www.
Right now, there are 2 scheduled, but I can make another one.
Go to this site now. Part-time or full-time.
Okay, yes, sir.
Based totally on your performance. Interested? GoHereNext.com and say goodbye to your boss tomorrow. GoHereNext.com.
Hey, it's Greg Hollenbach for Gluten-Free Things. Are you intolerant or sensitive to gluten? Or maybe you're a gluten-free lifestyler? Is your menu limited because you've eliminated gluten from your diet? Are you missing the taste of foods that traditionally contain gluten? What if I told you that you can add breads, pizzas, muffins, cakes, cookies, waffles, croissants, English muffins, the list goes on, right back to your menu? Gluten-Free Things is a local gluten-free and vegan bakery that reintroduces you to the foods you love. Owner John Irvin believes gluten-free shouldn't taste like the box that it's packaged in. Trust me when I tell you, the products from his bakery...
Yeah, but I have 2 all day.
And master leaving you with a...
Okay, perfect. I got that. Perfect.
Simply delicious. The bakery is located in Arvada on 64 Sims across the street from Arvada West High School. Check out their website at glutenfreethings.com. You'll be amazed with the variety of gluten-free products they make. And chefs, don't leave your gluten-free restaurant guests without options. Contact John at info@glutenfreethings.com. That's info@glutenfreethings.com to see what he can do for you. Give him a shot. 11651 West 64th Avenue in Arvada. It's Gluten-Free Things.
Hey, chef friends, it's Little Rich here from Rockalita's Tortillas. Rockalita's, known for hyper-local, innovative, and healthy tortillas and chips.
1 minute.
Colorado's top chefs, and that's why we only use Colorado Mills sunflower oil. If you too want to serve the healthiest, most vibrant tasting food.
Yes, sir, about 2.
Colorado Mills is hyper-local, Colorado-grown, cold-pressed in Lamar, Colorado. Whether you bake, fry, or saute, get your Colorado Mills today. Available through Shamrock, Growers Organic, and Dawn Foods. For the best oil in the business, use Colorado Mills.
Hey, it's Chef Elon Wenzel, owner of Element Knife Company. If you cook, then you'll know the importance of a quality knife and proper care. My training in Japan exposed me to exceptional cutlery. That's why I am so excited to offer you the knives I fell in love with. Element Knife Company is chef-driven, and my goal is to support and educate. Get at me for a knife clinic or conversation.
10 seconds.
At elementknife.com or by simply calling 303-460-4628. For the best knives in your kitchen, think Element Knife Company.
Feed me now!
This is the Modern Eater Show.
That's right, boy! I'm starving!
And now it's time for In the Kitchen.
How much
You're hot.
feeding you kill people? Brought to you by
Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Award-winning competition cooks and purveyors of specialty barbecue supplies right here in Denver, Colorado. ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
The master blender.
Okay, now you're hot.
You must be a beer writer.
Okay, back at it. Just a couple of minutes left in this hour, and then we'll continue with a full hour in the next hour from Briar Common. And we're just sorting through pictures from the Great American Beer Festival with Jonathan Shikes from Westward, Alex Liberati from Liberatis, and Greg Dawson from Briar Common, the host tonight. And one of the things I wanted to do is just do a quick round robin, 20 seconds apiece. Great American Beer Festival, describe it. 20 seconds.
Boy, an overwhelming and wonderful assault on all 5 senses. A way to try an amazing number of beers and understand who you are as a person if you can deal with it.
Wow, Alex, stop that, brother.
Well, for me, it's, being a part of community, I just feel it's such, this huge social gathering. And I'm so happy that it happens here in Denver. I get to see all my friends that actually fly in here. And so you can't walk down the aisle at the convention center without bumping in with 10 people and mixing stories. It's just this melting pot of the community. It embodies what the beer community is. It's really this blend of people. It's beautiful.
I can't follow those two. I think it's a
Go ahead,
great opportunity.
Greg
And being, in Denver every year, it's just a great opportunity for folks that either don't know the Denver beer scene or just hear about it, are able to come in and experiment. Denver's a pretty competitive beer market, and I think we keep ourselves in check because of that. And it's great to see people all over the country and world, to be frank, to come in and experience
it's the best beer market in the country, isn't it, Greg? Come on.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I completely agree with you.
Okay, my turn. Controlled Chaos. Growing bigger than it ever has, not knowing exactly the direction. We're looking at video right now on Facebook, but it's an opportunity for those that want to do a little research to try beers that normally they would never, ever have. How long, Jared?
Did you know that you...
Not long. Okay, next hour.
And visit dozens of home centers in order to get brand new gorgeous beers. Really? Hi, Dan Cicchini, Red Light Bathrooms, providing high-quality, full-service, turnkey bath remodeling in Colorado for over 3 decades. Todd?
You bet, Dad. With our free in-home quote, our design professionals will bring our showroom to you. You'll have all the choices right at your fingertips. Our design portfolio will not only appeal to your particular tastes, but will also allow for a turnkey, worry-free project completed on time and on budget.
Gotta love it, Todd. Whether it's the 5-piece master suite you want, or the need to fix that leaky, moldy, nasty thing you call a shower, check us out. Book your bathroom project now for select install dates, and you'll enjoy a 12% savings. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, and even replacement windows and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right. 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
This is Denver's talk station with Ross Kaminsky in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW Denver.
ABC News, I'm Dave Schreiber. Nuclear talks between the U.S. and North Korea in Stockholm, Sweden, ended without any public progress, and both sides trading accusations. ABC's Connor Finnegan covers the State Department.
These were the first working-level negotiations since before President Trump and Kim Jong-un's summit in February. But any hope for movement was dashed after 8.5 hours of meetings. North Korea said the U.S. showed up, quote, empty-handed. The U.S. says that didn't match the spirit of what were good discussions, and they hope to meet again in 2 weeks. Connor Finnegan, ABC News, Washington.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Saturday the State Department intends to follow the law in the House impeachment investigation and vigorously defended President Trump. A former Georgia police officer fatally shot a fleeing unarmed black man, acquitted Saturday of voluntary manslaughter and involuntary manslaughter. This is ABC News. More than a little damage and one injury after a deer crashed through a hair salon on New York's Long Island, says ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
At the BU, as in BENYOU, Tifol Hair Salon in Lake Ronkonkoma, New York, a stylist was giving a man a haircut when an antlered deer crashed through the big front window. The security camera footage shows the deer running into the back of the salon out of camera range. Then when it runs back toward the front, the deer bolts out of the shop through the front door this time before police arrived. One woman injured, but not critically. And what a mess. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
The owners of the historic racetrack Pimlico that hosts the Preakness Stakes and Baltimore officials have reached an agreement to keep the Triple Crown Series middle jewel in the city of Baltimore. Dave Schreiber, ABC News.
Copays, codes, coupons. Searching for savings on prescriptions is so complex, it's like you need a doctorate degree. Fortunately, CVS Pharmacy employs thousands who have one, our pharmacists. Plus, we built a proprietary search tool to help them find you savings on prescriptions. You don't need to know all of that complicated stuff. You just need to know someone who does. Your friendly doctor of pharmacy at your local CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
At CDW, we get that in business, the only certainty is uncertainty.
I agree. Or do I? I do, I think.
Well, an APC micro data center solution implemented by the experts at CDW provides certainty that your infrastructure will deliver the performance and support your business needs. So you're ready for anything.
I'm somewhat, maybe reasonably confident. That sounds great.
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/APC.
I will. Probably.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Credit Karma.
Well, crews are still working to clear a crash northbound I-25 at 6th Avenue, which is blocking the right lane and the right shoulder. Traffic is stalled all the way back to Downing. It's been there quite a bit, but it looks like they're getting closer to clear. It hasn't officially been reported yet, but it looks like there is a wreck on southbound I-25 between 104th Avenue and Thornton Parkway because traffic is basically at a standstill all the way past 136th Avenue.
2:30.
Pike southbound traffic moving slowly from Westminster.
What time is it when you need to go to the dentist?
And not too much in the way of delays on eastbound I-70 and just a little bit of congestion heading westbound at the I-225 merge. Denver weather tonight partly cloudy with a low of 39. Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 62. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Jake Ryan, 630 KHOW.
Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
How much of your summer to-do list did you get done? If your house needs a new coat of paint, was that checked off the list? Well, fall is a great time to have CertaPro painters paint your home because they can schedule you and get your home professionally painted so quickly. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated, so they're part of your community, and the quality of work they've done right here at iHeart Studios is amazing. Schedule your full free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA, that's CERTA with a C, at CertaPro Painters. We do painting, you do life.
Guys, listen up. I want to help you make smart choices. It's JoJo here, and if you're still paying $100, $200, or even $300 a month for Viagra or Cialis, then I've got great news for you. Our friends at Men's.com are helping listeners with generic Viagra or Cialis for a fraction of the cost, starting at just $5 for your first month, and they deliver your meds conveniently and discreetly to your front door. Right now, get your first month starting at just $5 a month for generic Viagra or Cialis at Men's.com. Look, sometimes we need a little help, and there's no shame in that. Visit FDA-approved Men's.com.
Babe, I think we've got an emergency on our hands. It's time to call 811.
What? What's wrong? Don't you mean 911?
No, 811. You've got to plant some trees to give us some privacy from that nutcase next door. Today, I saw him outside doing naked yoga.
But why 811?
You have to call 811 before you dig. Before you dig, click or call 811. The service is free, and it will keep you safe. This message is sponsored by Colorado 811,
30 seconds.
Colorado Broadcasters Association, and this station.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
630 K-House.
10.
Radio station.
The following is a paid advertisement. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of KHOW, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
How about a bite to eat? It's time for the second course, hour number 2 of the Modern Eater.
What are you hungry for?
Here's to a meal we're all here for.
Delicious and tasty.
Now we're getting to the good stuff. With your hosts, Greg Hollenbeck,
You're up.
Ryan Freeman.
Yes, indeedy, Mr. Tweety, right, Jay?
Yeah, that was an old Boyles thing, right?
We can do that. It's the second hour of the Modern Eater Show right here, live from Briar Common, with my co-host tonight, Jonathan Shikes, filling in for Brian Freeman.
Yep.
And Alex Liberati, right here, All's Well in the World. Great American Beer Festival wrap-up. I love hour number 2. Everybody, the rust is knocked off. We're ready to go. We're in the zone. We're talking about just GABF in general, what it does for the city, how it's, 30, how many years? 30-some years?
38.
38 years, when this was just a thought in Charlie Papazian's mind of trying to get folks together to come up to Boulder, Colorado, and show off their beers, the craft beer industry. But 38 years ago, what do you think the climate of craft beer was? Just a bunch of home brewers, right?
Yeah, there wasn't really there wasn't a climate of craft beer. There were home brewers. There were a few small breweries. Boulder Beer was around. There were some breweries in California and some out east, but that was it.
Is it fair to say the OG original craft brewer in Colorado is Coors?
Yeah, you could say that. They're the one that remained through Prohibition. There were a bunch of small family breweries before that, but yeah, they stuck around. They are not independently owned now, so some people would say they are not craft any longer.
No longer, no, they are not. But as far as the esteem that they hold in the craft beer industry, it's really interesting because a lot of brewers that I talk to will say, I'll drink a banquet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have a little bit of that Colorado feel. So many people grew up drinking Coors who were from Colorado. Almost everybody knows somebody who was either employed there, or whose dad was employed there, or his mom was employed there. So there's a little bit of Colorado love that goes out to them.
Greg Dawson rejoins us, the host here at Briar Common and brewer. And as we continue in the second hour, this is kind of the hour that I just want to go over, okay, who showed up, who are the award winners. Alex Liberati, you've got that list in front of us. Let's just go down that list and see who medaled this year at the Great American
So many.
Beer Festival.
I mean, I read a post today as someone who was saying 40 results found. So 40 people, 40 medals were assigned to Colorado brewers,
Is that
which
consistent?
honestly, it's amazing.
How many each year? Is it 28 last year, 40 this year? What is it? Fairly consistent.
It had been consistent until the big explosion of breweries in the last 5 years, and then Colorado's totals went down from the 40s into the lower 30s. I forget what last year's was. I want to say it was 32. I could be entirely wrong, but 40 is is a good number for Colorado based on the number of breweries that are out there in the history.
Oh my God, it's a great number. I mean, just even for the millions of people that we have here, it's only like 5.5 million people in all Colorado. We have 44, was it, out of 320 medals that in totally went out. I mean, that's more than a 10%. If you think about California getting 68, I mean, that stat there. What is the population of California? I mean, it's definitely significantly bigger than Colorado. I mean, we're a, how do you say in English? We're definitely a stronghold of beer in this country. This is
per capita,
no doubt.
We did well.
Per capita, we did well. Yep.
And what are some? Do you have those numbers in front of you? I hate to put you on the spot. But what state won the most medals this year? Do we know?
I can try to quickly clock it, but it's not going to tell
Gotta
me.
be California.
I'm going to say it's California. Yeah.
You're going to say it's California?
Well, yeah. I mean, they just have so many breweries.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you never know. Oregon
Basic math.
as well. Always does a good job. No.
Basic math.
No, not this year.
So click back to Colorado, and I just want to go, and we'll go down the list, but we'll just jump in when something sticks out for us, especially category-wise. Now, is there a category in your mind, Jonathan, Alex, Greg, that sticks out to you that Colorado should have a stranglehold on?
You know, in the last few years, I would say heavily fruited, sour and wild, wood barrel aged beers. Colorado seemed to be showing up quite a bit there. Brett beers, Colorado was really showing up. Oddly, one category that Colorado has did really well in the last year or two were German style lagers, pilsners, that kind of thing. That is not a category that I would have expected Colorado to do well in, but
where more of a warmer climate.
There just weren't a lot of pilsners, and there just weren't a lot of lagers going on for a long time. Colorado, really known for its amber, its red ales in the 90s, fruit wheat beers and that kind of thing, and then more so recently with the sours and IPAs, barrel aged stouts, that kind of thing. So yeah, lagers were not a big deal until a couple years ago here.
And we have won
the drum roll
8 actually medals in lagers, so close to 1/5, if not precisely 1/5 of our medals this year have been on lagers. That's an impressive thing.
Yeah, very impressive. Top of the list, what do we have? Let's just do category and winner, and then what they medaled. I guess that's the only 3 things you have to tell. Anyway.
If you want to start with the first, Belgian Quad Green Mountain Co. aged beer. Grist Marzen from Grist Brewing Co. American Style Amber Lager. That's Bob Malone. Let's shout out to that dude, which is an amazing brewer. More Dodge, Less Ram, Conrad Brewing Co. As we said before, American Style
More
India
Dodge,
Pale
Less
Ale.
Ram. Where do they come from?
That's a great name.
That was
we're kind of running out of names, I mean, believe
are.
it, we have so many out there.
Part of the fun of the award ceremony is how clever people get with names.
There you go.
So. Yeah. And side note, the Brewers Association has kind of vetted out some of the more risque names that have been out there and not allowed them to participate. Are they still doing that, Jonathan, to your knowledge?
Well, they can participate. They just won't. The BA would prefer they have to get called out. Someone has to call them out and say, I don't like that name. And then the Brewers Association will look at it. And once they look at it, they will ask. They won't say the name if they win a medal. They won't say the name out loud.
That's
part of
terrible.
It's part of their diversity initiative.
But anybody could be offended by anything.
Like Vladimir Bruden, which actually was from Cannonball Creek Brewing, an emerging India Pale Ale. So, yeah, I mean, there may be some Russian people that could be, affected by that. I don't know, Vladimir Bruden, but what do you have to do? But it's amazing that so many medals we've won, but so many other people have not even entered their beers in. We were speaking about lagers. There's, for example, a really awesome lager brewery that we have in town, which is called Bierstadt, and they have not entered.
That slow pour, is that it? It's the slow pour?
Slow pour pills, yeah.
So
it
good.
was awarded this year as best beer in Colorado. What was it? There was a countrywide competition of the best beers by state. Do you remember who did that competition?
I don't remember who did that one. I mean, they've gotten tons of, they've been lauded by, a lot of different folks. They just don't enter their beers. They entered the World Beer Cup, I think, 2 years ago. I think that was their one time, and I don't think they won, and they were like, forget it, we're done.
I love their business model. One beer.
Oh yeah,
It's just like we're going for it.
it's like Orval, isn't that? Wouldn't we love to do that, Greg?
Just once.
Just one beer.
one
That's
beer.
it, man. Come in for this, and French fries. One beer, French fries. We're good. Oh my God.
Well,
I wish.
I don't know why I'm playing my bathroom here.
That's all right. Yeah, I just know that's all right. Who wants to take a soak with the Gregory? Here it is.
All our plumber followers in Colorado here tonight.
Tour of my restroom. As we continue talking about, do you have more of those medal winners?
Oh my God, the list is
I know.
never ending.
Well,
I
we
could go
have
on.
a few, but so there's 40. We'll just cover them as quick as we can.
Okay, we're down to number 5, actually. Mountain Standard IPA, Odell. Vale also won a medal with Pete's Stash. Junebug Echo Brewing. Brews, as we said just before, with Serenité Grand Cru, the Belgian-style dark strong ale, or Belgian-style quad. It was a quad, wasn't it? Crooked Stave, awesome people. Deserve to get medals, and did with their Belgian-style lambics or sour ale. Get the funk out, actually. It was Foo Fighter, Good River Beer, Belgian-style strong ale, Way
Where's
West
Good
Wit.
River at?
Good River is currently they are contract only, but they're about to open a tap room. Yeah, but they're about to open a tap room inside the Renegade Brewing's production space on First and Santa Fe.
Interesting. We talked to those guys a few years back, didn't we? Good River. And they do a portion of the proceeds of their sales go to water in Colorado, I think.
Yeah, like 2% of net profits.
Don't hold Jay to that.
Something around. I mean, they're donating money to the conservation of rivers in Colorado, which is whatever the percentage is, it's better than nothing.
With all the water that we use in craft brewery, yeah, absolutely. I think that we should do that more often. Then we have Maybach from Dry Dock Brewing, Lindauer Lager, Wits End Brewing, Vladimir Bruden, the famous Vladimir Brewing, from Cannonball Creek, Eclipse Brown Ale from Equinox Brewing, an English-style brown ale. And this is actually really nice. The Shibble Shabble from Primitive Beer. Primitive Beer, I'm so happy for them that they have won a medal. So Primitive Beer is it's a couple of young, very experienced brewers which have opened a blendery, a traditional lambic style, because we're not in Belgium, but we might as well be, with a cool ship, and they're in Boulder, aren't they?
They're in Longmont.
They're in Longmont.
Yep.
And their beers, they take years to make. It's now the first year that they release a Goose. It took them 3 years, isn't it? True.
Well, I think they're still. I don't even think they've been open that long yet, but they've been working on that for a while, and they do some that are fresh. They blend some others. Most of them are not carbonated, so which I think throws some people off. But yeah, they make some really fascinating.
Is that a good beer model though? To treat it like whiskey is what it seems like to me. And
it is for some.
Well, what do you have to pour, a $13 glass of that to make it 3 years worth of?
Well, they're definitely not trying to get the Bud Light people, I mean, they're trying to penetrate the market of, the beer people.
You're not going to get it at the sports bar?
No, I don't think so. But they do it in bag-in-boxes.
Yeah.
So they actually sell you like a little box with a bag inside, a little tap. Totally. It's amazing. You can keep it in your fridge, and it's so good. It's nice and sour. It's beautiful, beautiful beer, and really, really well crafted. I only had the possibility to taste a couple of their beers, but they're
Proper
great.
terminology is bib in a box. Just no big deal.
Bib in a box. I'm trying to get these American idioms, Jay,
Oh, wait, he just said idiots.
Yeah, he did. American idiots. Is that how you think of us?
And, oh, come on, man. And then, do you want me to continue? We're at the H, man. I mean,
go.
We have Ice Cutter Kolsch from Joyride. That was good to see. Howitzer Amber Red Leg Brewing, German-style alt beer. Bombastic Hazy IPA from Holiday Brewing, nonetheless. Wow, that is another really good thing.
Shouldn't they win the gluten-free category?
And it is the gluten-free beer category, but it's a hazy IPA gluten-free.
Which is, have you had it?
Phenomenal.
I have not had that one.
How do they do that?
I have no idea.
Now, that's Karen Hurst, right? From Holiday Brewing.
I think you're right.
Correct, yeah.
She's got a great story. I mean, working for Coors and then being somebody who's affected by, I think she had Hashimoto's disease, a thyroid issue, and gluten affected that very much so. And she was one of those people that said, my love for beer transcends any recipe, and I'm going to make sure that I can brew some gluten-free beer that folks would love. And she's done a great job of it. Dedicated gluten-free brewery in Golden, Colorado. Good stuff. Have you had any of their stuff?
I have. Yeah, it's incredible what they can do without gluten.
Yeah. Omit, have you had Omit?
Which one?
Omit. It's another gluten-free brand.
I have not.
Which is very good. But when you think gluten-free, it just blows your mind. Like, all right, this is supposed to be all gluten. You know, this is...
Well, it's made with millet and spelt, and so grains which are not like barley.
Right.
And so obviously rice, and so grains that don't actually have gluten.
But I know, man, I had some tater tots that were made out of millet, man. I hated them. Terrible.
Well, look, let me tell you, Holly Daly years ago invited us and a bunch of other Italians to go and make a tasting at their place. We went there, and I have to admit, I told the lady as well. I'm like, I didn't really drive up there with the expectancy of drinking amazing beer. They blew my mind.
Yeah.
Those beers are spot on. At the time, they had a brewer, which now has another brewery. High Octane Wayne is his name, and his brewery is Burns Beer here in Colorado as well.
He was the brewer at Holiday Leaf.
He was, absolutely. And what a great brewer. And the beers at Holiday, I can't say enough how good they are. But
let's break off. We'll continue this. We're highlighting the medal winners at the Great American Beer Festival from Briar Common.
Brought to you by Alex Liberati.
That's right.
Totally.
He's doing a great job, isn't he?
Do that.
He's doing an absolutely great job.
I come out once a year.
Just to read the award winners from the Great American Beer Festival. Jonathan Shikes, the highlight of the night at Briar Common. We'll continue in just a moment right here on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose path through Cyberland.
Don't forget
3:10 until you're live.
For all the fun photos and videos.
I would do Aspen Baking, then the other one, then the Aspen Baking again.
The Modern Eater.
If you have two and then one.
64. Hustler Turf Equipment has been designing, engineering, and assembling zero-turn lawnmowers with U.S. and global parts right here in the United States. Professional landscapers and homeowners alike have relied on Hustler Turf Equipment to provide features such as Hustler's patented smooth track steering, heavy-duty steel decks, and premium bolstered seats. Visit hustlerturf.com to find a dealer near you. That's HUSTLER turf.com, hustlerturf.com.
Hi, my name's Christina Stumble, and I own Farm Girl Flowers in San Francisco. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. Last year, I redeemed $115,000 in cash back. Yeah, $115,000. And that doubled our digital marketing budget for the summer. Thanks to my Spark Card, we had our best summer yet. Imagine what the Spark Card from Capital One could do for your business. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers pay for real stories. Credit approval required.
Hi, I'm Andrew Moore, brewmaster at the Intrepid Sojourner Beer Project. At Intrepid Sojourner, beer tells a story inspired by my adventures as a well-traveled archaeologist. My recipes draw inspiration from all over the world, from historical styles like Satis, Greitzers, and Kvass, to adjunct beers inspired by flavors from international cuisines. My beers broaden the horizons of what beer can be. Explore Basil IPA and Turkish Coffee Stout. Enjoy Chai Brown Ale. Taste Lavender Tripel and the distinctive Horchata Milk Stout. Thoughtfully sourced spices and herbs enhance flavors inherent to indigenous beer styles. My sincere hope is that Intrepid Sojourner Beer Project will inspire adventure and wanderlust. Come visit the tap room and share your tales with friends and plan your next sojourn. Located at 925 West 8th Avenue in the heart of the Arts District on Santa Fe. For everything Intrepid, look us up online at sojournerbeers.com and remember to drink globally, locally.
Hey, you guys, Jay Parker here for Encore Energy. How much are you paying for your natural gas? Wouldn't you like to save
1 minute to the live.
Gas bill? Of course you would. You're not crazy. Encore Energy and Brian Rizzuto can do just that. Save you money. Give Brian a call, 720-245-5771. Maybe you own a restaurant or a brewery and use a ton of natural gas. This is how you save money. Get a free savings review from Brian Rizzuto and Encore Energy. Call Brian at 720-245-5771. Save 10 to 20% on your natural gas bill right now.
Rocker Spirits.
30 to the live.
It's a place to hang. It's about quality. It's about taste. It's about passion. infused with American spirit. Rocker whiskey, rocker rum, rocker vodka. Get ready for an original look, feel, and experience. Old Town Littleton. And if you get
10 seconds to the live.
they've got the best food truck line in town. Open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
3, 2, you're hot.
.com.
All right, you guys, back to the show in just a minute, live here from Briar Common Brewery and Eatery. But before we do that, I want to talk bread. And
People think you sound like me, though.
Didn't you see I was right in the middle of a
I
thing,
know,
and I had my
I'm
thing?
just thinking to myself, do they wonder if that's me?
I can't.
Jonathan, do we sound alike?
Yeah,
Jay
totally.
and I?
There are certain similarities.
Certain similarities.
He does have radio voices,
All right.
though.
Greg Hollenbeck, go ahead and do that Aspen Baking Live.
Back to the show in just a minute, but before we do that, I want to talk bread. And more specifically, I want to talk Aspen Baking Company.
I mean, beer is basically bread.
It is. It is. I mean, beer is food. There's a lot of the same, whatchamacallits, the gluten.
The gluten.
That gluten.
That gluten.
Boy, you like that gluten? Let me tell you about Aspen Baking Company.
right.
They pile the gluten right in your mouth.
And they love it.
It's delicious.
Butter,
Butter, sugar, gluten.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, Hollis Casey from Aspen Baking will tell you, but if you want gluten-free bread, that's a different sponsor. This sponsor has gluten in it.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, listen, we'll do
Best of the best?
We'll do a 5-minute live. The best of the best. And here's the thing. No preservatives, no artificial coloring, no chemicals of any kind in any of their bread. AspenBaking.com is how you find them. And if you want hoagies, focaccia, ciabatta, baguettes, croissants, bear claws, lobster rolls, pound cakes, coffee cakes, box lunches. If you're a business like Alex and Liberati, he wants to cater to his employees, but he doesn't want to use his kitchen because, let's face it, sometimes you get tired of the food of where you work. Boom, AspenBaking.com. You put it together for a catering package. They take great care of you. And, again, no preservatives, no artificial coloring, no chemicals of any kind. Local Denver bakery, Aspen Baking Company. It's AspenBaking.com.
My name's Chef Keegan, owner of D-Bar, and you're listening to The Modern Eater on iHeartRadio.
And you're hot.
What's your favorite kind of bread, Jonathan?
My favorite type of bread? Wow, I love sourdough.
Ah, that's me, man. I knew it.
Yeah.
Boys from another mother, man. Same neighborhood, grew up with.
Same bread.
That's right. We're going to start hanging out, man, eating sourdough together.
All right, cool. Cruising around Cherry Creek.
I'll see you two guys in the corner eating
That's
sourdough.
right.
Like, oh my God, this sourdough's so good.
We have so many childhood memories that we didn't share them together, but they were there.
I want to know, from Liberati what his favorite bread is because he just,
Wait, let's think. Yeah, okay.
He comes from
He's a
somewhere where
Roman.
bread's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's got to be. Oh man, it's got to.
I'll tell. Can I tell you one of my favorites?
It's not French. It's not a French baguette.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
definitely not a French. Anything French.
I'll tell you one of
Show
my
you that.
favorite breads that I never eat, like ever, which is focaccia. Do you guys have focaccia down there?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Ooh.
The fun thing of focaccia is that you can make it like, Italy is 20 different regions of 20 different languages and 60 million people that completely come from different planets, all in that same little boot. And focaccia on the north or focaccia on the south or central or any region, it's absolutely different. So you have focaccia genovese, which is made with olives and tomatoes. You have the focaccia romana, which is little and thin.
Focaccia
And,
romana.
yeah, you fill it up with prosciutto or with mortadella.
Does it all have rosemary?
The Roman one, yes.
That's what does it for me is the rosemary. So I don't really want to mess with the focaccia where you're packing meat into it. I want the focaccia with rosemary.
Everyone their own taste, as we say in Italy, but probably you'd like even the more Sicilian or the southerner ones.
What do you guys make at Liberati's?
We do focaccia now and then. We make casareccio bread, which is a typical bread from Rome, where we use the same water that we have in Rome. And we do... it's a San Pietrino. It's a very high hydration.
What is it?
Hydration. You saying that? Hydration? Translating from Italian as we go. So it's
Moist.
a 100% hydration pizza bread. It's typical. It's a typical Roman style of making pizza, and we make it into a bread. So it's got a fluffy cloud inside, but it's got this like crunchy crust outside. And you had some of it, haven't you, Jonathan?
I'm sure. Yeah, well, I've had it at your place. Yeah, absolutely. Molto bene.
Benissimo. Ah, that's exceptional.
Thank you very much.
I always say that I So I talked to Alex. I'm like, here's my favorite Italian food, and I go, garlic bread. Yeah, we don't do that. Garlic bread. I go,
Chicken parm. Never had it.
Yeah, we don't do that. So I go down.
You guys don't do chicken parm?
No.
Dude,
Really?
I've never had chicken parm in my life.
Really?
I'd love to learn from you guys.
How's that? I had no. So that's something that USA goes. We're gonna bread this chicken, put some spaghetti sauce on it, and there we go.
How's your bowling in that?
And and Italian in the world.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I worked at an Italian restaurant. They had a chicken parm. I guess they're just.
Sure. You do ziti?
Sure, it must have been really traditional. Yeah. We don't, but we could. We do all our pasta in-house, and ziti is actually a thing, although quite rare in Italy, but it's actually a thing.
What's a 1,000% authentic Italian dish?
Well, I'm Roman. If you ask me, it's going to be something from our Roman...
It's going to be like clams and...
carbonara.
Wine sauce?
Carbonara. With no chicken and no peas, please. But carbonara, yeah, that definitely would be.
Yeah, Domino's does that. You know
they do. They've got a carbonara
They have a part of
sandwich.
pizza as well.
In a bread bowl.
What about linguine and clams? Can I have linguine and clams? Is that something?
That's traditional,
That's a
man.
thing?
Absolutely. Spaghetti con le vongole. That's how you would say it.
Here's what I put in my linguine and clams, okay?
Oh, my God, no.
A little bit. I won't tell me.
Chicken.
Tell me. No. Tell broccoli. No, tell me. So fresh garlic, right? Some olive oil of your choosing.
Wine is very important.
Spices. Fresh basil. Brown the garlic, brown the basil, hit it with some white wine, whatever that may be,
Throw
right?
open the clams.
Right, throw the clams in, and I use canned and fresh, right? So there's a little bit of boom, boom, a little bit of white wine, and
You
then
do
that's
none
it.
of that.
Reduce it down. That's how I can, though. I mean, I never do it, but
And
I
parsley,
could.
man. Don't forget the parsley topping at the end. A
The
little bit
sprinkle,
of parsley.
right? But
Yeah,
that's just for show, though, right?
It is.
Hey,
Well,
Zach Ryder,
it does.
Colorado
it does,
Mills,
you
come
know,
on in
kinda,
here. Get in.
Go sit down right
Zach
there.
Ryder, Colorado Mills. Get him in here. He loves beer, too. Derail a little bit there with food. Do you cook, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah, I cook.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right. Are you a griller? I'm the master of a grill.
I do.
An artist of sorts.
Yeah, I do whatever I can. I'm not the best griller, but, I struggle through. I get the burgers done. I make whatever. I make chili. I make Italian food. I make everything.
You make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen.
You make it happen.
Yeah.
I'd love to taste chili. I think it might be good.
It's good chili. I won an award for my chili.
I heard
You don't want
that,
to taste my
yeah.
linguine and clams?
I will taste
No.
that. I would do it. I would do it. On the show this on Facebook, would you, Jay? Also streaming on Facebook Live. This fungus, what is this? What fungus shui?
Yeah, fungus shui. It's
Feng shui.
It's a beer. It's from Montana. It's a beer made with a crazy kind of mushroom called candy cap mushrooms. And I actually got a chance to try it in Montana back in June when I was up there for a beer writers and bloggers event, and then as well as the Montana a big Montana Brewing Festival, and it blew me away. It tastes like maple syrup, but it all comes from the mushrooms.
How is that possible?
I have no idea, but Scratch last year did, 2 years ago, did a beer with that same mushroom that you were talking about, same kind of flavor. In fact, when I met you today at the festival and you told me, oh my God, I had this beer with mushrooms, it was so good, maple syrup, it completely reminded me about that. And I think they won a medal for this, didn't we?
They did. So the same category, oddly enough, I think that Primitive won their medal in, which was, I think, the experimental category, which is, I guess, a catch-all for crazy.
Is this a brand new, or is there some other region of the world that's doing this and now it's influencing into our area?
Great question. Zach Ryder, Colorado Mills. Thanks for joining in this show.
Thank you.
Just had to qualify you, get you in there, in the mix.
Yeah, that part I don't know. I forget where they're grown. I thought that they told me they're grown in California.
Probably the South Pole. Probably that's the originating country of the fungus shui for sure. Absolutely.
I
Full
wanna
of
do
breweries
this.
down there.
Okay,
man.
we're on break. I want to do this. I want to talk about adjuncts, and I want to talk about categories that are opening up, and then I want to finish up the list of the Great American Beer Festival. It's already 7:33 in the Mile High City. Only a half an hour left. I feel like we're just getting started, but we're going to have a powerhouse of the last half-hour home stretch. We're going to talk about categories, opening up new beers. We look at this mushroom beer, and you go, where do we stop? Are we going to just take, this is a Michelin tire beer.
We're not going to stop.
We're not going to stop.
No way, man.
We'll see where this continues. All right, from Briar Common Brewery, and is it this Briar Common Brewery. It's also a pub.
Eatery.
Eatery and Brewery, yeah.
Briar Common Brewery and Eatery.
Delicious food, delicious beer, and we'll continue right after this on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path.
Live in 320.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Let's talk for a minute about stock market volatility. Hi, Rick Edelman here. You can expect to see market volatility, but don't let it frighten you out of your investment and retirement accounts. Now, I'm not making light of volatility. We get it. It's unsettling. But volatility is really simply a routine part of long-term investing. And the best way for you to avoid stock market volatility? Don't have all your money in stocks. That's why here at Edelman Financial Engines, we're careful to give our clients highly diversified portfolios, placing only a portion of assets into stocks. This helps give you the confidence that stock market volatility is really nothing to get concerned about. We've been helping thousands of clients just like you for 33 years. So come talk with us at Edelman Financial Engines and let us help put your market worries aside. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
Hey guys, Chris Johnson here, owner of Rome Sausage, your hyper-local source for all things sausage awesomeness. My family is proud to carry on the fine traditions of Rome's founder, Jerry Rome, by producing a variety of amazing sausage in small batches with an eye on quality, not quantity. Every batch is made here in the great state of Colorado by hand mixing spices, utilizing lean cuts of pork to make an outstanding product. Sourcing ingredients and materials locally, we are committed to supporting local vendors, chefs, restaurants, and the entire Colorado food scene. Getting hungry yet? Brats, Italian, breakfast, hot Polish, green chili, chicken apple, and the world's best chorizo. You can source all of our sausage through a variety of food service distributors. If your distributor doesn't carry it, call us. We'll come direct. You want a custom item? We'll do that too. Samples, and of course, sausage jokes, can be had by contacting me directly at chris@romesausage.com or by phone at 303-296-7663. The Modern Eater loves Rome Sausage, and I know you will too.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from The Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite.
1 minute to the live.
Spice is the variety of life. At The Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants, food brands, and chefs behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose The Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
The Spice Guy.
30 to the live. Oh, you're hot.
I'm hot. Okay. Am I hot, Jared?
Sir.
Talk to me, Jared.
Yeah, you're hot.
Okay, right. Why not? Back to Briar Common in just a minute, wrapping up the Great American Beer Festival. Right now, Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions. Jay, we had an opportunity to go up to Black Hawk this last week at Monarch Casino. What a project, Jeff Rourke. He's the custom installer of tap lines and kind of the most trusted authority when you talk about we want the brewer's beer to taste just like the brewer wanted it to taste, and running these lines and going, I mean, football fields length with glycol system is no easy project.
Now we're putting together a video, too, that's going to show some places that he's done work for. And this Monarch Casino, man, this is a huge undertaking for A-Plus Beverage Solutions.
Foam is money, and specialty tap installations is the name of the game. But once you get your specialty tap system dialed in, you're going to want some maintenance as well. He does it all. Both things Jeff Rourke does, and he does it well. 20 years in the business, he's a family man, and he's going to take your phone call at 720-272-3809. I know that was a little too quick for you, Jay.
Well, not for me, but that's because I've heard it every day.
Every day.
Almost every day.
If you're pouring inefficient beer, what are you guys doing?
You're pouring your money down the drain.
You knew that, Zach.
I did.
Say it.
You're pouring your money down the drain.
Alex?
You're pouring your money down the drain.
Jonathan?
I mean, apparently you're pouring your money right down the drain.
Don't pour your money down the drain. It's Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions. He's a phone call away, and he will make sure the money's going into your pocket. 720-272-3809. 720-272-3809. It's Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions.
Hey, this is brother. My bad. It counted this rejoin right here. That was in 30 seconds. I'm sorry.
You're lucky I'm a pro.
All right.
He's a very, very impressive man. And you're rocking with
Okay, you're hot.
on iHeartRadio.
Okay, here we go. Back at it. Briar Common.
Back.
It's 7:39. These guys are introducing themselves. Greg, go ahead and put your headset on. We're live right now. Briar Common, Greg Dawson is hosting us this evening. I know he's got a little teeny leg. Yeah, could you just lean that way? Jonathan Shikes.
Yes, sir.
Westward, Colorado Beer Man. How can people look at your work, get a hold of you, rant and rave, say, why didn't you cover my favorite brewery?
Right.
What are some of the biggest complaints you get, Jonathan?
People love their brewery, and they love their neighborhood brewery where they go, their favorite place, their favorite beer. And if I don't bring that up, at some point somewhere, they get mad.
They get mad.
Yep.
I was talking to you about that today.
Uh-huh.
Anybody chime in. How do you stay grounded to and open to many other breweries that you're not familiar with in your ecosystem, that you're trying to be fair and balanced, you're trying to, not to do a Fox News thing, but you're fair about who you're reporting on, who you're talking about, who you're listing in events? How do you make that so that it's just not something that's on the love of what you like and on your radar?
Yeah, it's not easy. You have to make sure you're out of your own, like you just said, out of your own flavors and your own tastes. I like certain kinds of beers more than others. I live in a certain part of town. I don't get to certain other parts of town. Yeah. So, I have to listen to. I listen to a lot of people. I listen on. I watch online. I have a lot of conversations with a lot of brewers, a lot of people who are in the industry.
Tell us what you're looking at. A lot of people just go to Jonathan Shikes and Westward.
Yeah.
Your article, stop there.
Yeah.
Beer-wise. What do you do for your research?
I love talking to people, so I call people up in the industry periodically, and I just shoot the breeze with them, But I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I watch and I listen and I look at beer forums, and I read a lot about what's going on, and I try and make sure that I'm hearing about beers and breweries that are elsewhere. Majority of what I do is going to be in Denver. Westward is Denver based, but I really want to make sure that there's other things going on out there. These guys, Echo Brewing, for example, which won an award today. These guys have they're two brothers. They own that place. That now they one of them I think sold. They own some breweries down in southern Colorado. I'm going to try and get those guys on the phone pretty soon, find out what they've got going on, because that's an interesting story. So.
Yeah, guys, and anybody jump in now?
Well, I want to drop my 2 cents here. I mean, you know what? You're really right about that, because, I mean, there's a lot of beer writers that I've been, acquainted with within the years. But I have to say something about you, Jonathan. I mean, you're really there at beer events, releases, anniversaries. You're in the middle of the crowd. You're always there. You're speaking with the people on the turf. You're really gathering, and I think that it really reflects in what you write. So, I mean, when you said that, it really resonated with me,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very
and
much.
He's so humble and tasteful and like everything I'm not.
You just want to cuddle him, right?
He is,
I mean, yeah, totally.
Right? He's just like a great guy. You want to be around him. I'm just totally diminishing myself. But Jonathan, you're seriously, you're unassuming. You have some weight to you in this business.
Believe me, I have some weight to me.
Well, beyond what we do as middle-aged men, beyond middle age, what do you do with that? You've got stuff on your shoulders. You need to carry the weight of, like, how do you make sure you show up and you represent the best way that you possibly can? Does that keep you up at night?
It doesn't keep me up at night.
It would keep me up at night.
I just try and be
no pressure.
Well, I went to journalism school. I spent a lot of years as a regular writer, covering politics and the environment and all the different beats. And you learn a lot about how to try and be fair, how to try and how to get everybody's voice in there. And so you get used to trying to listen to as many different voices as you can. So I think that's what I still try and do with beer. Beer does not compare to political journalism or any of the amazing things that the real journalists do. But I think
this is better journalism.
Well, it's more fun.
I mean, those things, the headlines never change, just the names in political journalism. This is something that is actually ever changing and ever flowing. Nobody's created anything new in politics these days, but in beers, the world is constantly evolving. one of the things that we spoke briefly about, but I wanted to get your opinion on, is when people approach you, and I have to imagine so many people want you to write about them.
Yeah.
They want you to please just mention us, and I can't even imagine what your voicemail and your email looks like, and kind of how do you not do it, and you're kind of pushing people off, but at the same time, I was somebody that was a producer for a long time for talk shows, and people would come at me constantly, and they would say, well, what's the best way for me to actually be heard?
Yeah.
What are the advice that you could give to if somebody wants to be noticed by you or Westward or written about? What are some things that you would give as suggestions to be able to be noticed?
I mean, I love to hear the stories that a business has. You know, why is the beer that they made important? Why is the product that they, why is there something unusual about it? Is there something they're doing that's different than somebody else? Is there, was there some sort of adversity? All those kind of things are
Is there
great.
a tie-in? Is there an angle?
Yeah,
is there something that's current?
And they've got to let me know, because I can't, I'm not going to find out. There's 400, plus breweries. There's beer bars and everything else in Colorado. It's difficult to know what's going on. I mean, as much as I try and monitor it. So sending me an email or hitting me up on, on Facebook and places like that, and just letting me know, like, hey, we've got this beer, it's really interesting. I just wanted to let you know about it. I might not be able to write about it, but at least then I know about it.
But what's the best way to grab your Yankee? To just...
My what?
I don't know. You're Yankee, like you're yanking.
I do not know what that means.
I just made it up, but I think what's the best way to get your attention? What's the best way to? Is it email? Is it Instagram DM? Is it Facebook? Is it standing out front of Westward with a sign? Is it what gets you? What gets you?
I mean, send something to me. Kahlo.beerman@gmail.com.
You read everything.
I read everything.
You do?
Yeah.
I read nothing. Jay, do you read everything? No, you don't. Don't even lie.
I have to open it to read it. Sometimes I just swipe it off.
That's right.
I got a question
go
for
ahead.
you, Jonathan. What happens? I mean, you speak with everybody in the industry, and in the industry, there are some people who think that opening a brewery, they do it for a sort of a cash grab, right? They think that there's money to be made there. They just want to jump in, and they're really not in love with what they do. So before you were speaking about, when you speak with some people, you want to know why that beer came to be, what's the process, what's the love behind it eventually. But does it ever happen to you to speak with people that don't have that love for what they do, authentic love? And what do you do in that case?
And then if I can add, do you have your own filter? Like when you talk to people,
I do have a filter, and I do know I can, to some degree, I can tell the difference between people who got into it because they wanted to make beer, and people who got into it because they were, they wanted to be in a business, they wanted to be successful, they liked beer. It doesn't mean they didn't necessarily have a passion for it, but there's a difference between the heartfelt passion that you sometimes, or a lot of times, get, and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I have a little bit of a filter. Sometimes I can't tell. People are always nice to I think to beer and food writers, because it doesn't do much to be mean to them. Although I still write about people who are not so nice to me too.
So beware out there. Just be nice with Jonathan.
Well, no,
otherwise he's gonna write.
If they're making a good beer and I taste it, I'm like, oh, that guy's a jerk, but man, he makes good beer. I'm still gonna write about it. But I think with all the breweries that I've talked to and brewery people, there's always someone there who is passionate about it. Maybe it's someone who got hired on or someone, the partner, the brewer. There's someone there, hopefully, that they found who's passionate about it. So. You seek that out. You look for that. You look for that fire and that love.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, media to me and influencers. We actually talked to Traveling Hoppy. Does anybody know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. You do. You do. Traveling Hoppy is a. I wonder if I have a picture of her. I'll get Traveling Hoppy here. But she's a beer anymore these days, and I don't know who's really more important, because Jonathan, do you have 120-some thousand followers on your Instagram?
I don't, but
I can give you a way to do it.
If she's figured out a way to get I mean, I know nothing about her. I know nothing about, like, she may know,
She's
you know,
a beer
she
girl.
may know a
She
ton
loves
about
her
beer. She
and
probably does.
She is who she is. She does know a ton. And she works for a beer company in San Diego, and I want to say it starts with a V, but Vapor, something like that, in San Diego. But more and more these days, you're seeing influencers on Instagram, on Facebook, groups that have a big presence, and those people are a force to be reckoned with because this is a very small industry, very tight-knit industry, and if you're outsiders, is it hard to get into the inside of this industry, Jonathan? Alex, was it difficult for you to come?
Yeah, I'd ask Alex that one.
Well, actually, this guy here, he was the first guy that actually got me in here in some way. He was the first person to ever write about us when I was still in Rome. And so I think that the industry here has been very welcoming. I've been speaking with Greg all day, and, we have so much common ground, and it just takes a second to understand you have the same challenges, you're fighting the same battle. And people don't really do that in Italy. Over here, one of the the beautiful things of Colorado and Denver is really that really happens. That camaraderie is a real thing. So I don't really think it's difficult to get into. If your heart's in the right place, I don't think it's hard to come in the community.
Collaboration and camaraderie is something that Colorado does a great job with, and I commend all of us for really being those people who's like, hey, I want to give you a lift up, Who are you getting your hops from? Well, let me tell you about Highwire.
You're right.
I mean, speaking of Bruce beers and their silver medal, that's our keg washer.
That's true.
And it's just you find resources, to Alex's point and to Jonathan's point, you find resources to do well for your business. And
absolutely, and everyone gives themselves a hand. And goes around, and if people use breweries of other breweries. I mean, how many times do you get to write? And I get to read about the brewery, and that new brewery now is the old system of Great Divide or whatever. I mean, it's really something that goes around here.
Before we break off, and we're going to do the last segment, Booze in the News, all the booze news you can use. But Zach Kreider from Colorado Mills, we had a great tour, man. Monday, we went down to Colorado Mills. We toured around Lamar. We checked out the facility. Jay made an awesome video. A lot of the people said, I didn't know it took that much to make some sunflower oil. Yes, it takes a lot. And you had a spot on 9 News tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
What was that?
It's been a busy week. It was Monday, the tour. We were at the Ag Summit in Pueblo on Wednesday. Down here tonight with 9 News. Danielle Grant, weather meteorologist.
Food lover.
She reached out to us and said, hey, you guys got something really cool. I've heard a lot about it. Let's get you on the show. And, the 5 o'clock hour newscast, Colorado Mills was all over that thing. So
I like
it. Spreading the good word about Southeast Colorado and what our farms are doing. Our 120 farms and 600 ranches and family-owned, farmer-owned, culinarians all across the country using our products. It's great.
Best stuff around.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, too.
You were just talking about the beer and how, everybody's in it together, and networking and connecting. And all I could think of is, I love to drink beer, and I don't know the beer industry, but the food industry is the same thing.
Yeah.
I got an email tonight from Brandon Hart, the Penny Program Scholarship Award winner from the ACF, Colorado Chefs Association, that's down in Costa Rica learning Spanish with his in-laws, and now he's going to be heading over to Spain. It's just this huge network of people that are just connected and working together just to lift everybody up.
Check out Colorado Mill Sunflower Products. Just Google it, or on Facebook as well. Doing a lot of great stuff, but it's the best in the business. Do yourself a favor if you're a culinarian. That's what you want to use, is Colorado Mill Sunflower Oils. Best French fries around.
It is. It makes the best fries.
You converted Preston Phillips from Grind Kitchen Watering Hole, and that's a tough nut to crack right there.
It is.
Okay, last segment. We'll come back. We've got a very illustrious lineup here with us. Colorado Beerman Jonathan Shikes, Alex Liberati, Greg Dawson, Jay Parker's here, Zach Kreider, Greg Hollenbach, all's well in the world. We'll be back in a flash for the last segment of the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
You're going to have 1 minute.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram.
Live in 210.
For all the fun photos and videos. Just search
210.
Or check out the website, The Modern.
Yep.
Plants capture CO2. What if we could help industrial plants capture it too? Think how we could help lower emissions. More and more scientists think carbon capture is key to reducing CO2 emissions globally. It's one way ExxonMobil is helping industrial plants be more like plants. That's the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details. Need cash but have bad credit or maxed out cards? Now you can get a personal loan for up to $5,000, whatever your credit, with no paperwork. 27cash.com is one of the nation's largest personal loan networks. If you have a checking account and a regular income source, you can get cash in your account as soon as tomorrow. Type this into your smartphone or computer address bar. www.27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Hey, Colorado chefs. Brian Freeman with Growers Organic and the Modern Eater Talk Show. Do you care about where your food comes from? I do. Do you want loyalty from customers who care about that as well? I can help by providing top quality organic produce with reliable delivery, knowledgeable sales team who genuinely care about how food is grown, transported, and served. Chefs, Growers Organic will ensure you have excellent ingredients for your next James Beard dinner, your nightly specials, or your regular menu items. Join the organic revolution and go organic with Growers Organic. Look us up online at growersorganic.com.
Hey, chef friends, it's Little Rich here from Raquelitas Tortillas. Raquelitas, known for hyper-local, innovative, and healthy tortillas and chips, served by Colorado's top chefs, and that's why we only use Colorado Mills sunflower oil. If you
Live in 20.
Most vibrant tasting foods, you must use Colorado Mills. Colorado Mills is
10.
Colorado. Whether you bake, fry, or saute, get your Colorado Mills today. Available through Shamrock, Growers Organic, and Dawn Foods. For the best oil in the business, use Colorado Mills.
You're hot.
Back to the show in just a second, and we don't have too much time, so I'm going to jump right into it. Aspen Baking Company. If you want all natural, no artificial coloring, no preservatives, no chemicals in your local Denver bread, then you want Aspen Baking Company. Hoagies, focaccia, ciabatta, baguettes, croissants, the list goes on, and also boxed lunches. So if you're an employer out there who likes to treat your company to boxed lunches, then aspenbaking.com is where you want to go. Again, it's aspenbaking.com. No preservatives, no artificial colors, no chemicals. They are local, and bread is delicious. aspenbaking.com.
Now it's time for the Modern Eaters Booze in the News segment.
Okay, 1 minute till the music plays.
Entertainment explosive.
All we need is a chair and a cooler beer.
Here's your booze news.
All right, you're hot.
Okay, just a couple minutes left in Booze in the News, all the booze news you can use from Briar Common. And right now with Jonathan Shikes and Alex Liberati, I want to use the last 2 minutes to promote something that we have coming up. And, Alex, this is going to be a great time. Jonathan, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, but you're included. Here we are.
Oh, yes.
On the 26th, it's a Saturday, 2 weeks from today, we'll be at Liberati's. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks from today? 3 weeks.
I hope it's
today.
3.
It's 3 weeks from today. We went and sourced some grapes from Grand Junction, and we're bringing them back to Denver along with the
vineyards. Absolutely,
yeah,
one of the most beautiful vineyards actually that produces wine and has their own vineyards.
We're showing them right now.
Yeah, absolutely, we were there, me and you and Brian, eating grapes at this point and testing out all the different grapes that they have. They're really unique. They try to find out new varietals that can work great with their altitude and, with their climate there. And we're going to be collaborating with them, with you, and Jonathan, we're going to need your hand as well, or actually your feet.
Oh,
You
because
know what? We're about to ask you this.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to stomp grapes.
Awesome.
Are you up for that?
Oh, I'll crush some grapes.
Oh, that's good.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
cool. So we're going to crush grapes. We're going to have Josh Nuremberg from Bin 707 with us to cook some delicious food. We're going to collaborate with Liberati. We're going to make this delicious beer. It'll be ready in a year, though. And then we're going to take you with us to the Western Slope to eat at Bin 707 for this release of this beer. And
With the stock market at all-time highs, cash in your profits.
There it is.
Asset that can potentially pay for up to.
Oh my God! It is really cool, though. It is really a cool thing. This guy from Bin 707, he was one of the Beard 5, the Beard